Wuthering Waves, The Harsh Truth. And I actually just missed this completely. Gacha Gamer's basically known for like Genshin content mostly, really amazing content. So if you haven't checked them out, definitely check out Gacha Gamer. But we're gonna watch The Harsh Truth about Wuthering Waves. The truth of Wuthering Waves gameplay after 70 plus hours, how I actually feel. The opinions that Gacha Gamer might have towards Wuthering Waves, whether it's good or bad, I will take it into consideration because Gacha Gamer has actually put the time in to actually understand how the game works instead of just playing 2 hours, 7 hours, and then dropping the game completely, never playing again. So I can't take those types of criticisms as serious as this because Gacha Gamer did put the time. So I'm gonna watch this. It's a 20-minute video, so sit back, relax. I'm probably gonna be pausing in between, you know, giving feedback in here and there. So definitely chill, relax. Watching this video, let me know in the comments below what do you guys think. I really want to hear your feedback on this, but yeah, let's get into it.
I've been playing Wuthering Waves for more than 70 hours now, and I've basically experienced everything the game has to offer, including endgame as well as the daily loop. And so, I wanted to take the time to fully understand this game because I've seen a lot of misinformation being spread about it. And on top of that, you've probably heard things about Wuthering Waves, like it's the next big gacha game, but also it's a Genshin copy or even a Genshin killer.
I can't stand that, bro. I've already erased those words from my vocabulary, bro. I cannot stand these words. I really despise it a lot because it's not true, and it's just, I know why people do it for clickbait, but I'm curious, what do you guys think about every time you see, I really want to know in the comments below, bro. Like, this is like such a huge topic and such like, I personally don't like it. I don't do it on my videos because I want to be more genuine about how I feel about Wuthering Waves. And I don't want to clickbait people either with these words. That's the reason why people do it. But let me know in the comments below, how do you guys actually feel about these words when you see them on thumbnails or titles? Does it trigger you? Do you not like it? Are you annoyed? Is it boring already? It's to the point where it's like, it's used so much that it's like, okay, like it's not really a Genshin killer. It's not really a Genshin copy. But let me know what you guys think about that, because I think that in itself should be its own topic.
Killer? Well, let me actually tell you the truth what this game is all about and what you can expect from it. Because in this video, I will cover Wuthering Waves gameplay, endgame difficulty, and even some controversial topics.
Okay, cool.
Keep in mind,
I'm
this
about
video
it.
is based around the second closed beta test, so if you're watching this in the future, some of the things I talk about might have changed. Now, in a nutshell, this game has 4 major themes: exploration, combat, monster collecting, and story. And starting with the open world, similar to Genshin, you can explore the areas to collect resources, fight wandering mobs, solve various puzzles, and take on side quests. I would say the biggest thing that stands out about exploration in this game would be mobility. You don't consume stamina when running fast, only when dashing. And you can also run up the walls of pretty much any surface, even though it does feel janky sometimes, so hopefully
sometimes it does, yeah.
However, after climbing walls in Genshin for 3 years...
Bro. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I really feel bad for people that still play Genshin and climb stuff. Like, it is miserable, dude. And especially, bro, because I'm going to make a video on this where I'm going to, because I haven't played Genshin, but I'm going to play Genshin after playing CBT2 just to see how my experience is. And I want to record that and document that and make it a video because I think it could be really funny. But I did that last time, CBT1, after playing, and I didn't play Genshin. I went back to Genshin. I couldn't play Genshin. Genshin didn't hit the same. I just couldn't play it. I couldn't play the game anymore. I could not play because of how slow it was.
When you realize you can scale terrain so fast.
Yeah, man. It's great. The freedom is great.
Combat here feels very energetic. And by this, I mean there's a lot going on. You get to build a team of 3 characters, but only one can be on the field. And with the active character, you can use their skill and ultimate as well as normal attacks, but in addition, each character has intro and outro ability. Basically what they will do when you switch in and switch out. So for example, this character has big outro skill when she switches out. She will boost the switched in teammate's skill damage.
My favorite character, by the way. One of my favorites.
Pretty cool. And if you switch into her, then she gains special stacks, which she can consume to gain a shield. And keep in mind, there's also passive abilities each character possesses. Like, for example, Chisha, I probably butchered her name.
No, you said it right. You said it right. You're good, bro.
Red bar, which could be built up with attacks, and if she holds down her skill for long enough, after unloading tons of bullets, she can also follow up with a big boom shot.
Nice.
But going back to why combat feels energetic has to do with defensive mechanics. In this game, you can either dodge enemies.
Bro, I love the dodging in this game. It's so good.
Circle, you can use, I believe, any attack as long as you can time it right, and this counts as a parry. So you could use one of your character's ultimates to parry a boss.
You could, yeah.
Or even when somebody switches in in and does an attack that could also parry an attack. I would say
it's
the
actually
game is
really,
pretty
honestly,
generous
bro,
with-
it's really nice to see that like Gacha Gamer actually tried the end game, which is like tactical hologram, right? It's I mad respect, because I think a lot of people that made the reviews didn't even get to this point. Like most of the reviews I've seen, they never even got to this point of the game.
Even when
So,
somebody switches in and
to
does
see
an attack.
he might even be just doing the first difficulty, but at least he tried it. I didn't see anyone else. I didn't see a lot of people try this, especially bigger creators.
That
I didn't
could
see
also
them.
parry an attack. I would say the game is
So it's nice to
pretty
see that he at
generous
least
when it
tried
comes to
it.
Dodging, it's pretty easy to avoid attacks. And you can also animation cancel pretty much anything.
Nice.
So you can quickly react to incoming attacks. As for parries, well, if you played any game that has it, you know timing will always depend on the enemy's animation. So you will often need to learn it enemy by enemy. Although some of them are pretty easy to parry. Overall, there's a ton of depth when it comes to combat. And
There
best
is.
of all, I was playing with a pretty big latency.
You
If this
know,
was
that
Genshin-
latency problem, I'm having such big issues with it. Like I always ping spike in red, and like I think it's a server thing, because honestly, I mean, my internet's good. Like I got optic fiber, so like I should not have this issue, but I'm always like lagging a lot. And
would be
obviously
big
I'm going to
enough
put that in
screw up my
feedback,
rotations.
but
However,
I'm
here,
always
it seems
struggling. Like I'm
combat
always getting
abuse
so much
is
lag.
blindsided. So this means no matter how high the ping is, it won't affect combat gameplay. Now,
It affects me.
one major
I don't
thing
know.
I left out from combat would be the echoes. I do have some concerns about them, and I will talk about this later in the
I'm
video.
actually curious
but
to hear what he
basically
says about
it's
this.
Kind of like Pokemon. When you defeat a monster, there's a chance they will leave this hologram of itself, hence
Yep.
why it's called Echo. And you can collect them and use them as artifacts, which will boost your character's stats. But the first
The
Echo you
number one
equip
issue.
will also provide a unique ability you can activate in combat. For example, there's this one that transforms my character and he jumps around like a maniac and freezes everyone.
that
I can
one is the
also
best
turn
one.
into this badass monster and sweep enemies with fire damage, or I can turn into this scary crownless boss who can pursue its target. It's fun, I'm not gonna lie, and I think this is one of the best things about this game. Still, as I said, I have some concerns, which I'll talk about a bit later. But yeah, the last thing to overview would be the story. I personally didn't find it that engaging at the beginning.
Really? Bro, am I the only... Yo, comments on the below, man. Like, am I the only one that actually really enjoyed the story, bro? Like, I feel so, like, alone on this, bro. Like, I don't think a lot of people enjoyed the story as much as I did. I think I truly enjoyed, and I read everything, and I thought it was really good. And it makes me so sad to hear people say that they don't think the story was good. I don't know, maybe they didn't do the whole thing. I don't know, or maybe they skipped all of it. I don't know. But I personally, like, if you look at all my videos, I've reacted to every single cutscene, every single piece of content that they had in story, and I truly enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and that's not me being like, oh, I'm not a story guy. I've always said this in previous videos and on my streams. I'm not a story guy. I like skipping through story. I wanted to give this one a chance because they rewritten it, so I want to see how much they've done or how much they've improved, and I think it's great. Like, I think it's better than Genshin's, and that might be a hot take for most of you if you're watching this, but I don't think Genshin's story is that good. I've been saying that for a while, and I think this story is actually better written than Genshin's, and this is just in beta, okay?
Basically, you start out
Hot
as
take,
either
but
male
hey,
or female main character.
you do what you want with that
Hence,
information.
surprise,
I don't
you
really
lost your
care.
memory. And so, a group of attractive anime women discover you. It turns out you're super important, and you need to work towards recovering your memory and helping out the first big major region. Again,
And
nothing
also, I
drunk-
personally like that we're trying to discover our memories instead of trying to save somebody, right? Like, I don't, because the whole like saving someone, I feel like it's been overdone a lot. And, you know, Genshin story, we've been trying to save our brother or sister for the longest time, and they've been milking the story for the longest time, and it's so dragged out, and I've already lost interest. Where at least here, you know, like, I mean, it's kind of like the same concept, but you know, losing your memory, it's a little different. I'm gonna see pieces, like maybe there's pieces to the puzzle that get unlocked, and we get to like see like who Rover really is as a person, you know?
Here. But after encountering the main villain group, namely Scar, things do become a lot
Scar
more
is
interesting.
so
And by
sick.
the end of the region's story, I felt invested enough to want to learn more about what comes next. However, you cannot skip the story. I know a lot of people spread this misinformation before the beta started after reading the developer notes, but instead, you can only skip side quest stories.
Side quest
which is
stories, yeah.
fine. But the main story and featured character stories cannot be skipped. Although, maybe this will change when the game launches
Wait,
globally.
this
Anyway,
wasn't skippable? I mean, I didn't skip it. I thought it was. I thought like the in-between dialogue was skippable for everything. And then, but because I didn't even notice, but I guess you couldn't. Okay. I didn't know that.
Overview of the game.
I didn't bother to skip it because I thought it was so good.
Because the first 10 hours or so, I felt like the game was pretty easy. Everyone was hyping up that this is a real man's game with real stakes. Bosses will mess you up. Well, the reality is, open world and a lot of the content is quite easy. And if you are having trouble with it, you can...
But dude, hold on. The thing is like, okay, the problem is I'm starting to discover something as I'm in beta right now, that as you level up and you rank up in world level, right? If you rank up from, I think it's either 3 to 4, right? And you fought the bosses in the open world, obviously their levels get higher. But another thing that I don't think people are actually taking into consideration and actually noticing is that when you rank up, right, that rank up level, bosses gain a higher level as well, but they add additional combat to their kit as you rank up. I don't think people have touched on this, but I noticed it when I ranked up at one point and I fought against Crownless, and Crownless was a little bit more aggressive and added one more move to their kit, right? And I was like, oh, so is this where we're going? Like when we get to like fully ranked level 5 or 6, whatever it is, right? I think it's 6. Are the open world bosses going to be actually really difficult to beat, right? Because they're going to have more move sets, right? They're going to have more things to memorize, right? So I think that's where they're going. I don't think no one has gotten to that point yet. I think the highest rank I've seen, I think Sapporo's gone to like level 43 right now, 44 as I'm recording this. So I don't know. That could potentially change. I don't know.
This will exist in the Gacha.
I don't know.
Game. More importantly,
but that's what I've noticed myself though.
But if you watched my latest Zenless Zone Zero review video, I also said the game is very easy at the beginning. However, in Wuthering Waves, you will be punished if you do not pay attention to what the enemy or the boss is doing.
That's very true.
The first real difficulty spike shows up in these tactical hologram challenges. Basically, it's a beefed up boss. And even the first challenge forced me to utilize everything I've learned about the game.
Yes.
Even cooler, all 4 of these bosses have 6 different stages. And while I was busy editing this video, some content creators like Rexland got their way to 4th difficulty.
By the way, major shout out to Rexland is such a beast, bro. He's crazy good at this game.
Mephis, who in addition to doing his regular moves, will now also summon a copy of itself. And onwards from difficulty 5, their attack stat will keep increasing over time. So yeah, you will need to dodge and make perfect parries to beat these bosses. Although
it's almost, honestly, it's almost to the point where tactical hologram, like, is basically like as you do the hardest difficulty possible, like you pretty much are just one shot, one kill. Like you will die in one hit. And that's crazy to me, right? I personally love it. I think that's great because it gives you actual, like you're actually going to be using your brain when you play the game, like actually try to like learn patterns, see what's different. Why did I die here? What can I do to improve here? Well, I should have dodged earlier. I should have parried later. You know, it's great. It makes you like actually play. You're playing the game. You're playing the freaking game. That's the whole point of it, right?
You will be able to just outgear the stages. However, I do wonder how difficult the last stage is going to be.
That stage is going to be insane.
Open world gameplay is pretty chill. It's not difficult, and this includes all the world mobs and bosses, but there are special challenges you can go to, and those will be a great way to test your skills.
Yes,
just remember,
I agree.
Nobody in this closed beta test have reached maximum level yet.
Yes,
so
no one has
yet.
Have
access to best gear, which means while the current endgame feels like it can provide challenging content, nobody can say for sure how this will look like. Once everyone actually reaches maximum level.
I don't think no one is going to reach that, man.
When the game launches. But seeing how some
only when
creators who are out
when global release happens, we'll be able to know.
Pushing far into these challenges, it's good to see that the game rewards skillful play. Speaking of which, let's talk about the end game. Basically, once you have no more quests and you're done exploring the map, the daily grind loop so far is pretty simple. Aside from the limited events that I'm sure this game will have in the future, there's a list of daily tasks you will want to do.
Takes like 15-20 minutes to do. Doesn't take that long.
Those disappointing 60 primo gems and some spare resources after doing all the tasks. Although
they slacking a little bit, dude. It's not so good. It's not so good.
There's Tower of Adversity, which is like Spiral Abyss. You fight a bunch of enemies in ongoing
This is actually hard. hard.
There's a beginner
when you
version,
get to Squama
version,
or Memphis, whatever, he gets pretty hard.
Version called Hazard Zone. Right now, it says it will refresh after 97 days,
but it hasn't.
That's probably just for the closed.
Yeah, it's just a placeholder because for me personally, it hasn't reset it at all. So
sooner when the game launches. But I do want to point out that in here, each character in these stages will have a set amount of uses, and the more you keep fighting with them, the more they become exhausted, until eventually you will need to replace them with somebody else.
I actually really like the system a lot for this. It really does spice things up because it kind of makes you, you either focus on 6 characters, right? Or you could do doubles, you could do duos, right? So you don't have to put a full team of 3. You could put teams of 2, and you can make that work as well. You could do 1 DPS, 1 support, 1 DPS, 1 to support. You know, that's kind of what I've been doing too. I've been doing 3s, but you could do whichever you want. But I really like this system a lot. I like it a lot. I think it's cool.
With them, the more they become exhausted, until eventually you will need to replace them with somebody else.
I think it's cool. I like it a lot.
It forces you to play several teams instead. And just like with hologram challenges, Tower of Adversity will most likely be another place where it will test your skills and knowledge of the game.
It's just the time. The time, a lot of people have been complaining and saying in my streams that they don't like the time aspect because it's more of a DPS check instead of a skill check. Like tactical hologram, a lot of people are saying that it shouldn't be timed. It should just be just like if you die, you die, right? And there's no time, right? I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I don't know if they should, because like I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. How do you feel? Do you guys think these challenges should be timed or not timed? Because they are hard, right? So if you can't beat it, you will die, right? You will lose, right? So I get that aspect, but I don't know. Maybe the time is there for a reason, you know, like, I mean, some people just might not be able to clear it because of skill issue. And you know, you just got to learn how to play the game more or understand how the bosses work, how the enemies freaking attack you and all that. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it still. I don't know.
Another place where it will test your skills and knowledge of the game. There's also this challenge called Depths of Elusive Realm.
Love Depths of Elusive Realm. It's so much fun.
Mode, where you pick up upgrades along the way and try to win with the best temporary build. What's interesting about it is that it puts heavy emphasis on upgrading your active echo, so it will even gain some new moves that we wouldn't normally be able to use.
This is so sick.
Pretty cool to me. I'm not sure if this is an event or a permanent mode because it does have a shop timer and some characters are unusable.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried about that.
Ways you need to beat it in order to gain all the rewards. And then,
I would like it to be a permanent event.
The Gacha Gaming Stamina System. Here it's called Wave Plate, and the maximum cap is 240.
I mean, guys, just looking at this beautiful picture that we have, I mean, we already know which one's better. Like, you cannot cap on this. Like, this literally, if Wuthering Waves comes out with 240 right off the bat on global, they already are the better game because they've already increased their resin higher than Genshin after 4 years of Genshin being out. So, and the recharge is every 6 minutes for Wuthering Waves, and the recharge for Genshin is every 8 minutes. So, I don't think you could argue that Genshin is better in this case. Wuthering Waves clearly wins this fight right here. Cannot tell me otherwise. I don't care.
1 point refreshes every 6 minutes. So compared to Genshin, it's kind of better. However, some of the materials
obviously
wave plates cost more than compared to Genshin. Although I haven't done the math, but it feels a bit better than playing with 160 resin in Genshin.
It does,
anyway,
yeah.
You can consume wave plates.
Because honestly, it feels like you could do a little bit more and be more picky. Like, for instance, I could just give you an example. Right now, this is where I'm living at right now when it comes to grinding certain things, like grinding XP for your actual characters, XP for your weapons, XP for your echoes, because we can't fodder echoes yet. And I actually have farmed currency also because I've been running out of currency a lot because I've been leveling up a lot of my characters and it costs a lot of money. So I've been living in this domain more than actually doing the domains in the other areas. Like, I'm not really doing to set fields because the RNG is really bad with the echoes. You know, I'm not going to waste my resin on that. I'm going to rather use it on something more permanent, you know, that's not RNG based. This is the perfect place to level up everything with no RNG involved. This is the perfect spot for it, right?
Character abilities and weapon ascension materials.
So if you're going to use your resin chat, you got to come here and make the most of it.
Weapons, or just straight up farm some money.
Yeah.
Then there's of course world bosses, which you'll want to farm to ascend your character's maximum level. And then there's these things called tacit fields, which I'll talk about in a moment. But in a nutshell, it will help improve your echoes. And of course, there's a weekly boss you can do once to obtain their rare material to unlock stronger character abilities. I mean, look, it's more or less just what you would expect from a stamina system in a gacha game. And this one right here is almost identical to Genshin's, which is fine, at least to me, because this means you will spend less time trying to figure out where to spend wave plates. But the last endgame activity that everyone will be occupied with until the heat death of our universe is going to be farming the best echoes. You see, on a surface level, you would think that this pseudo-artifact system is a lot better than Genshin's, and that's the narrative I've seen going around on social media. But the truth is, it's about as bad as Genshin's artifact system. Let me elaborate.
I kind of agree. It's pretty bad, bro. Like, you can't... Because the thing is, it's like there's two stats that you have to worry about, is the element on the echo and the main stat on the echo. And those two, like, if they don't match... For like the character, you're completely screwed, right? Like if I'm trying to build Sanwa, which is a Glacio Cryo Ice character, and I get the perfect crit rate, crit damage piece I need on her, right? But it's not in the right Glacio set, I'm screwed. You know what I'm saying? So like it's harder. It's actually, in my opinion, I personally think it's harder to grind out echoes than the actual artifact system in Genshin. I'm not gonna lie, I really do think that. The Genshin artifact system, you just farm it. It's easy. It's 2 seconds, and then you're done. Here, you kind of have to. You really have to put the effort in. That's another thing. But I personally like the action of how I grind for echoes than Genshin. Genshin just feels like not as engaging as I would like it to be. But in Wuthering Waves, I get to explore. I get to go around. I could do it with friends. You know, that's cool. So in my opinion, they're both bad, but Wuthering Waves just feels like it's more fun, especially if you're co-oping with friends, you know?
You can easily farm for echoes in the open world. Each time you defeat an enemy, there's a chance they will drop their echo. Now, when regular enemies are killed, they will only respawn after the server's daily reset. However, you can easily hop into co-op and join any other player's world. I
literally just mentioned that,
together. You can even defeat enemies on the other side of the map, and your friend can come and check out if any echoes have dropped for them. There's even this nifty browse feature where you can apply to join other players' public worlds. So
pretty nice.
Technically, you can keep on farming for echoes for as long as you like. And what's even better, and I've tested this myself, I was able to keep farming the same bosses over and over in my world. I didn't spend wave blades to claim their rewards, just waited a couple of minutes and they would just respawn. And by doing this, I was able to fish for critical rate main stat by repeating this boss. Imagine, if you could farm 5-star artifacts in Genshin without spending resin. There's gotta be a catch, right? Well, there is. You see, when you obtain the echo, its substats will be locked, or should I say hidden. And
this is another thing that's a big problem. A lot of people don't like this
looking resource called Tuner. So now, let's say you spent all this time running around and farming for that desired main stat on your echo. Now, it's time to actually reveal the substat.
This is true pain right here, guys.
It's going to be
it's been a painful ride for me.
There's a total of 13 different possible substats you could potentially roll into. And I'm not even sure if that's all of them.
14,
You can imagine you'll be only interested in a few of them, but in order to find out if this echo is good or not, you will need to spend this tuner resource. And so far, I was able
that's
to get some
farmable.
of
You
it
have
by
to farm
doing
that too,
quests or some other activities. But of course, if you want to gain it consistently, you will most likely need to go and do these tacit fields I briefly mentioned previously, which will cost 60 wave plates. And
this one is a lot.
Satisfying because while it offers additional rewards like set-specific echoes, which means they can belong to a set that boosts elemental, physical damage, etc., only 2 of them
drops are not
at
good.
Least with this current world level. And
I think honestly, like I know it's only 2. They should drop more, bro. Honestly, like, but I don't know if the level changes because right now I'm only doing level 50. So as I go higher in level, will it give me more echoes, right? Like, will it give me like 4 golds? You know, if I get 4 golds, you know, surely maybe 1, I'll have a shot at 1 being good. but I still don't know because I'm not there yet. So it's really hard to say.
Experience points. But the focus here is to farm for tuners. So in a nutshell, you spend the wave blades in order to actually roll for the substats on your echoes.
Yeah,
and if that's not enough, you cannot use level 1 echoes to level up other echoes.
Yeah, this is such a problem.
You must invest into them this XP material,
yes,
which of course can also be farmed with wave blades, or you can obtain some of it from world exploration.
This part's not fun.
That's finite, and spending wave blades on this stage here to obtain echo XP will be the main way to level up the echoes. So what I'm trying to say here is that yes, it doesn't cost wave blades for you to go around the world or in co-op to farm a bunch of echoes, but if you want to level them up or roll their substats, you will eventually need to spend wave blades to do this. And don't get me started on the layers of randomization. While bosses can belong to only one set, when you farm
so honestly with this topic, bro, like if you're farming a specific echo that has the specific element that you need, I think they should just make that permanent. Like if the fire lizard is what I'm farming for a fire character, that should be fire. Like that element should be a fire element. Like it should, this little part should not be randomized like on the echoes. It should be like chosen specifically on the type of echo you are farming. Let me know in the comments below what do you think about that. I think that should be something that should be fixed.
Then we have the main stat where you will want to obtain something that's
because I think that's fair, right? Because even if because it would feel like you'll have more assurance, like okay, like this is what I'm farming for. I'm gonna have the right element on it for me to build my characters, but the substats still could be bad. You know what I'm saying? So like I would rather have that than both of them be bad. Okay, I'd rather have one fixed element than dealing with like the preview of like the subsets. Like it's not a big deal for me personally, but I think the element should be dedicated towards the specific echo. Yeah.
Or attack percentage. So that's layer 2. Then if you're smart and farmed up a bunch of the same echoes with the main stat you're looking for, one by one, you will spend a single tuner to roll for the first substat. The ones that rolled a bad substat, you'll feed it as experience.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing too.
But those who have rolled the first good substat, you will then repeat this 4 more times because in total, there can be 5 substats rolled on an echo.
Damn, that's good.
Finally, you will then repeat this 5
These subsets are good. Is this green? What color? Oh, it's gold. This is good. This is really good. Electro. Oh, but what's the element? You see what I'm saying? Like, what if the element is not electro, right? If it's attack, perfect. That would be good. But if it's not, then it's pretty much screwed. But these subsets are fire, dude. This is like ideal right here. You got the crit rate and the crit. This is good. That's a good echo right there.
That's layer 3. Finally, the last layer are the substats themselves. Each substat has a range of values. So for example, if both echoes roll attack percentage, one of them might have it higher than the other. And that's the final layer 4. And remember, you have to
Yes, and by the way, I think there was something that we missed here. You can actually roll the same substat twice. I've seen it on an echo before where you could roll crit rate twice, crit damage twice. You can. It's possible. But I don't think it's that common, but it's still cool that could be a thing.
Higher than the other, and that's the final layer 4. And remember, you have to spend tuners and echo XP materials to play this lottery. And unless Kuro Games decides to shower us with never-ending supply of these items, you will need to spend wave blades in order to do this. So no, in the end, I don't think Wuthering Waves has a better free-to-play experience in terms of leveling your echoes compared to Genshin's artifacts, because both of them will devour your wave blades / resin with zero remorse when you keep rolling onto that flat defense and flat HP substat. However, at least now, I do find the echoes enjoyable to collect. There's a total of 57 different echoes you can obtain. I know the game says here it's 200.
I don't think that number is accurate.
It counts every single rarity of echo, although there's also shiny versions of echoes you can obtain. They are super rare drops, but to my knowledge, it's only an alternate look. There are no other benefits. And to be honest, at least right now,
the only thing that sucks
you can easily play the game by using echoes with mediocre substats. You definitely don't need to go through all this trouble, but later on, this will most likely matter a lot more. And in open world, honestly, you can just run around with whatever and still clear everything effortlessly. Besides, the hardest part of trying to obtain that perfect echo is going to be the one you're actively using, since you care about their ability, while others will just act as set pieces. So you can literally just equip a bunch of random echoes who belong to the same set and you're Gucci. Now, as long as we're on the topic of lottery,
the gacha.
Let's talk about the gacha system. There's a total of 5 banners, and first there's a beginner banner, which gives a discount for 8 of these convenes.
We've seen this before, we know how this works.
After 50 pulls, you're guaranteed a 5-star, and then afterwards, this banner disappears, which is not surprising. And then there's the featured character banner, and right now, I can pull for Jion, who looks super cool. Although people online have been memeing that this guy is alternate universe Xiao, I don't know, go figure. Anyway, Heart Pity is at 80 pulls, and Kuro Games sadly have decided to implement the same 50-50 Genshin has. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer.
I mean,
however, it's 80 pulls.
It's 80 pulls though. Come on.
Compared to Genshin.
Come on.
But I haven't seen anyone confirm what is the soft pity yet. Hopefully it's lower. And
yeah, so I think the soft pity, because I've experienced early pity, 60 and 70. I'm gonna assume that 70 is kind of hard pity, and then 60 is like soft pity. I have gotten a 5-star at 60 pity.
There are also 3 featured 4-stars. So the gacha here is very...
I honestly wish that for this, I really want them to give us selectors on which one we prefer. For at least a 4-star, man. Because, you know, I want more Danjins or more Mortifies. I don't really want Chishia, and I've been getting a lot of Chishia, and I don't really want her.
Compared to Genshin.
You know?
Now, on the other hand,
optional stuff would be nice if they could give us a specific one that we can pick, you know? Would be really, really cool.
You are 100% guaranteed to receive the featured weapon.
Yeah, this is actually insane. Yeah, this banner, the weapon banner is so good.
I like this a lot, but at the same time, I want to remain cautious about this, because if the game throws a bunch of stat-gated content at you, or if the featured 5-star character's potential is limited without their signature weapon, it could turn into this whole mess where you must pull for the 5-star weapon.
Yeah,
so while I'm
I see.
happy this banner is a lot more better than Genshin's, I will need to see for myself how optional these 5-star weapons are going to be. And
yeah, because I know
surprise.
why you feel like that is because there is not a lot of F2P options right now. And I've actually experienced, I've tried collecting rocks, right? And you have to give it to like some vendor to get like a free weapon. And we actually did it over stream, and we were trying to collect it. And, you know, the weapon wasn't bad, but you only get one copy of it, right? So it was kind of rough. Like, they were all like attack percentages. Their passives, like maybe they don't even work, because a lot of rumors are saying that the rumors on the weapons don't even work. But yeah, it was such a hassle to just get that. And I was hoping it would be like, you know, crit rate or something. But I guess the crit rate is only gated behind the battle pass or these standard weapons that he's going to show right now.
There are 2 standard banners. One for the characters and the other for weapons.
Yeah.
So you can decide where
I honestly think, guys, let me know in the comments below. I really think personally, I know that everybody wants characters, but I really think for like real DPS check, you might want to pull for on this standard one, because you're going to get like, you could potentially get like a really good weapon. This is a good weapon. This is a guaranteed weapon. So you could get guaranteed crit rate on your weapon for a specific character that you probably want to main. Not all of them are crit rate, only some. I think it's only like 3 that are crit rate, and the other ones are, all of them are attack percentages. But still, like, I think the real, like, because if you have a good weapon, like and if you slowly build your character, you know, the weapon can really help your character be a lot stronger, right? But who knows? I don't know.
Standard summon currency. You can still potentially obtain 4-star weapons from the character banner, but the 5-star is going to be a character no matter what. On the flip side, if you go for the standard weapon banner, you can even select before you summon which 5-star you want to obtain.
I'm pretty sure also, guys, when we reach, because I haven't reached level 45 in beta, but when you reach level 45 in beta, you get a free weapon box. And I think the weapon box is one of these. You could select one of these and you get it for free. I don't know if global is going to be like that, but to tell you the truth, if they do that, that's insane. I would definitely, if global comes and we get the 5-star box, I would definitely go for this crit rate sword for your rover. That's all I'm saying.
So that's another cool idea. Again, I won't hype this up too much because I already saw a lot
Right
of
there,
content
crit
creators
rate.
hyping up ecosystem like it's some sort of free-to-play
That's
haven,
what you want.
when in reality we'll
That's
still
what I
need
would
to
go for
spend
too.
tons of stamina. So while I commend Kuro Games for doing this, and I'm well aware they have something very similar implemented in their other game,
PGR.
Punishing Grey Raven, where you can also obtain guaranteed weapons like that, it's best to just see how mandatory these weapons are going to be when the game
100%, I agree.
launches.
I agree with that.
Overall, it's a gacha game. Never expect a game to have fair pull rates because at the end of the day, it's a business model that capitalizes on gambling aspects. So don't spend if this heavily affects your financial situation.
Yeah,
By
I
the
like
way,
that.
I shared a lot of this info on
I like
my
that a
Twitter
lot.
account. So if you want to stay up to date with my thoughts about Wuthering Waves, make sure to follow me.
I like that a lot.
Link in the description.
I like that a lot.
Now, you probably noticed me referencing Genshin all the time. Well, first of all, a lot of you watch my Genshin videos, so that's
Exactly, yeah.
But I won't lie. Wuthering Waves has implemented a lot of the same things Genshin has.
Damn.
From the monetization to character
Yeah,
account leveling to even character story quests.
Yeah, sort
You know
of,
how
yeah.
Genshin always has these character quests where the developers emotionally manipulate you into pulling for that character because they platonically are so interested in you and share heartfelt moments with you? Well, it's the same here. Both Jian and Lingyang's story quests did this exact same thing. They had emotional stories and they were super friendly towards the main character.
They
However,
were.
a
But
lot
to
of
tell you the
effort
truth, like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. That's a weird concept because I didn't know people will pull for a character based off like how they felt about their story quest. I didn't know that. I didn't know that people did that. I just, if I like the character and I think the character's cool, I'll pull for them. If their story is good too, I'll still probably pull for them. But I didn't know that was like one of the main reasons, you know?
What's brilliant with these stories? There were animated cutscenes like the one here, and with Jian, there was this super cool upside down city landscape.
Yeah, this was pretty cool.
Able to witness by doing his quest. So yeah, homework was copied, but it was done with the same high quality as Genshin would do. And look, at the end of the day, I personally have no personal stake in either games. If Wuthering Waves copies Genshin, that's fine to me. I mean, it's not like Genshin is the pioneer of this genre. We've got a whole backlog of Ubisoft games that keep reusing the same open world formula over and over again with Assassin's Creed and Far Cry games. And there's also Breath of the Wild, which Genshin definitely copied some aspects
Thank you
of.
for putting
I
that.
mean,
Oh my
I don't know
God.
if you ever
Thank you
heard this
so much for saying
expression,
that.
But ultimately, creativity is a remix. I'll even throw in one of those cringy quotes you would read on Facebook by Mark Twain. I mean, I'll admit it, the open world experience in Wuthering Waves does feel a bit samey after playing Genshin since the start, but this has more to do with how developers approach open world exploration in general. But the fact that there's higher mobility, you can wall run, you can collect echoes, the combat system is complex, and you can react to enemies with parries, are some of the things that Wuthering Waves offers compared to
100%,
Genshin.
I agree with that.
So what I'm
Yep.
trying to say here is that if you like Genshin's gameplay, but want to try something similar, hey, Wuthering Waves can offer that. Overall, I would say my experience with this game so far has been pretty good. Obviously, there's still a lot of things that
There
need to be
is, yep,
addressed.
100%. They need to
I didn't
fix a
want be
lot of
subjective
stuff.
about the art here, but my god, does the UI look ugly here. And so do
What?
the damage numbers. Movement also, there's still
Bro.
a lot of things that need to be addressed. My god, this
Why do people hate this so much? I don't understand, bro. Chad, let me know, bro. Like, is the UI really that bad, bro? Like, to me, I don't care. I don't care about UI, bro. As long as it's simple and easy to go through. That's all I care about. I don't want an overwhelming UI. Just make it simple for me to know how to navigate through. I'm not a picky guy, bro. Like, I do not care about, but I don't know why people complain about this stuff so much. Like how much different can they make it? And with the font too, people complaining, coming into my chat and say, oh, what can they do about the font? I'm like, dude, does it matter? Like, does the font really matter that much? Like, would you rather have them spend hours fixing font, or would you have them have hours fixing the actual game? I would prefer the game. I don't care about the font. The UI is whatever to me. I'm not that picky when it comes to it. And like,
does the UI look
the
ugly
damage
here.
numbers.
And so do the damage numbers.
Yeah, that I personally don't care. I think the reason why people honestly, and this might be a hot take, I don't care, but I think the reason why people complain about this is because they're so literally glued to Genshin's format and number and everything the way it looks. They're so glued to it that whatever they see different is like, it looks automatically bad. But not necessarily. It's just different because they can't exactly copy the same font as the other games, so they have to do something different. But I personally think, now I'm starting to think and saying it out loud, I really think it's just people that they've just been playing Genshin for so damn long and they're so accustomed to seeing the same thing for 4 years. I think that's the reason why people think it looks bad, but it doesn't look that bad, bro. Like, it really looks fine. Like, I mean, yeah, maybe they could make a few improvements here and there. Maybe they could look a little different, but it's not the biggest problem. And I hate that people nitpick this. I really do. It really bothers me.
Movement also feels sometimes a bit janky, especially.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You could get a little glitch on the movement.
And for example,
but let me know in the comments below about the font and the UI. Like, is it a really big deal? Like, yeah, they could change it, but it's not a big deal. It really is not the biggest problem in the game. This could be changed like literally on global or patch on 1.0, 1.2, whatever, 2.0, whatever. They could change that as they go. It's not a big deal. It really isn't.
He often misses enemies and it's hard to use him. So I hope the developers refine his playstyle. But all in all,
I wouldn't know. I haven't gotten him yet.
Has a lot of potential. And personally, I don't care if it's a Genshin killer. I just want to see another open world gacha game that can compete with Genshin, so that the developers of Genshin start to realize that the market doesn't belong to them anymore.
Bro, when people say this, bro, I'm sorry, bro. I love Gacha Gamer, bro, dude. When people say that, they're like, "Oh, dude, I want competition, man. You know, I want competition because Hoyoverse is trying to I'm like, bro, this is so copium, bro. Bro, Hoyoverse does not care about their competition, bro. I'm telling you right now, bro. I'm telling you, they do not care. And if you really are gonna sit here and believe that that's gonna help Genshin become better, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I think everybody is wrong on that take 100%. I do not think that they're going to do anything about their game because people have been giving them Hoyoverse feedback for so long and they still don't listen to the community. So I think it's just such a weak take. I really don't think that that's even a possibility. And if it does happen, they're going to update something that no one asked for. And I'm going to laugh again.
Remember, competition always breeds innovation and excellence, or else we end up with a 3 wishes fiasco.
Yeah, you'll get 3 more next year, don't worry.
Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed this review, I guess. And I would appreciate it if you press the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again.
Oh, man. What do you guys think about this, guys? Like, I really want to have an open conversation about this in the comments below. Let me know. I know this is a longer video than usual, but I really wanted to break down a more brief description of like how Wuthering Waves is and all like the little talks that are going around in the communities and stuff. So I would really like to get your feedback. Let me know. This was a great video, by the way, and I like that Gacha Gamer did have a few good points and a few, honestly, in my opinion, I think a few bad points. It was very informative. A lot of it was true, you know, was on point because I'm in the beta as well, so I know what's going on with this. And it was good. Great video overall. Let me know in the comments below, please. I would love to hear your thoughts. Open up the conversation. Go in the comments. Let me know if I'm right or wrong or stuff. I don't care if I was wrong on what I said. I'm still gonna post it. I'm not gonna cut it out because you know what? People need to realize that yes, this is competition, but just because there's competition doesn't motivate big, huge companies as much. They do not. I think honestly, Hoyoverse just doesn't even really think Hoyoverse doesn't even think that Wuthering Waves exist. If I could be quite frank, they really do not care. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you guys soon.